Breaking tonight, unusual movement is unfolding near the Strait of Hormuz, where reports suggest rapid U.S. airborne deployment toward a rising threat zone. The situation is evolving fast, and what began as routine monitoring has shifted into something far more urgent, with military readiness now taking center stage. 3,000 paratroopers are being mobilized under an 18-hour rapid response window, signaling a level of urgency rarely seen outside real conflict scenarios. Once these forces are airborne, there is no option to reverse course, meaning every decision made now carries consequences that could define what comes next. Across the 82nd Airborne Division, the transition from standby to action happens instantly, as soldiers move with precision shaped by years of training. Conversations stop mid-sentence as alerts trigger across the base, and within seconds the atmosphere shifts from calm routine to focused operational intensity. Boots hit the ground in synchronized motion, and every movement becomes purposeful, reflecting a system designed to respond without hesitation or delay. No one needs detailed explanations because everyone understands the signal, and the weight of the moment is clear without a single word being spoken aloud. This is what they have trained for repeatedly, yet something about this activation feels different, carrying a tension that goes beyond controlled exercises. The 18-hour countdown has already begun, and every passing minute now contributes directly to a mission that is unfolding in real time. Time is no longer abstract, as each second is now tied to preparation, deployment, and the reality of entering a situation with unpredictable outcomes. Attention shifts toward the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow yet critical passage that handles a significant portion of the world's oil supply daily. Any disruption in this region has immediate global consequences, affecting energy markets, economies, and political stability across multiple continents. Right now, the concern is no longer hypothetical, as signals indicate that tensions in the area may already be crossing into dangerous territory. The possibility of escalation is driving decisions at every level, even as officials remain cautious about confirming the full extent of the situation. Inside the barracks, preparation begins with controlled urgency, as soldiers gather essential gear and move through familiar routines with heightened focus. Each item packed serves a clear purpose, and there is no room for excess, as weight and efficiency directly impact mobility and effectiveness in the field. Rucksacks are filled with precision, balancing necessities like rations, medical kits, and survival gear in a way that maximizes readiness. Weapons are carefully inspected, with each component checked and rechecked to ensure flawless performance under potentially extreme conditions. Rifles are assembled with practiced ease, and the quiet clicks of metal parts locking into place echo through the room with deliberate rhythm. Nearby, machine gunners prepare ammunition belts, linking rounds together methodically as part of a process that demands both speed and accuracy. There is no shouting or chaos, only focused movement, as discipline and repetition guide every action taken during this critical preparation phase. What appears routine on the surface carries deeper significance, as each step represents preparation for a mission with unknown risks ahead. This is not a controlled exercise with a defined endpoint, but a real deployment where outcomes are uncertain and stakes are significantly higher. Outside, the airfield becomes a hub of coordinated activity, even before engines start, as ground crews position equipment with precise timing. Ground crews coordinate using hand signals, reducing noise while maintaining clear communication across a fast-moving and highly controlled environment. Each movement across the runway follows a strict sequence, ensuring that equipment, personnel, and timing align perfectly for rapid deployment execution. Humvees roll forward with steady engine noise, lining up with loading ramps as crews guide them into aircraft with careful precision and control. Behind them, heavier systems are positioned slowly, including advanced rocket platforms that require exact alignment before being secured for transport. Inside the cargo hold, chains tighten against reinforced anchors, locking vehicles firmly into place as loadmasters confirm every connection visually. The interior fills with a mix of steel, gear, and controlled movement, creating a confined space where every inch is used with calculated efficiency. Cockpit systems power up in sequence, with navigation displays, communication links, and radar systems all coming online for final checks. Pilots review flight paths, fuel calculations, and contingency plans, ensuring readiness for a mission where conditions may change without warning. Even before takeoff, multiple layers of verification are completed, reflecting the importance of precision in a situation with no room for failure. The aircraft remain grounded for now, but the sense of inevitability grows stronger as final preparations move toward completion. Once engines start, everything transitions from preparation to execution, marking a point where decisions become actions with lasting consequences. Soldiers begin boarding in organized lines, stepping onto the ramp with steady rhythm as they enter an aircraft that will carry them forward. Rucksacks are loaded and secured efficiently, while personnel take their positions along the sides, preparing for a long and uncertain journey ahead. Inside, the atmosphere is quiet but focused, with each individual processing the reality of what lies ahead in their own way. Some exchange brief looks or small comments, but most remain silent, conserving energy and maintaining concentration for what comes next. The ramp begins to close, narrowing the outside world into a thin line of light before sealing completely and isolating the interior space. Inside the aircraft, dim lighting replaces daylight, creating an environment defined by sound, vibration, and controlled anticipation. Moments later, engines ignite with a deep, rolling force that vibrates through the structure, signaling that departure is now unavoidable. The sound builds into a powerful roar, overwhelming conversation and focusing attention entirely on the physical experience of takeoff. The aircraft taxis into position, pauses briefly, and then accelerates down the runway with increasing speed and intensity. As lift is achieved, the ground drops away quickly, marking the transition from preparation to full commitment in a matter of seconds. No one reacts outwardly, as the significance of the moment is understood internally, without the need for visible acknowledgement. This is not just travel, but a movement into uncertainty, where outcomes depend on factors beyond anyone's complete control. Hours pass within the confined space as time stretches and compresses depending on focus, fatigue, and the weight of expectation. Some soldiers rest while others remain alert, each managing the experience differently while maintaining readiness for immediate action upon landing. The flight becomes a space between two realities, one left behind and another still unknown, creating a sense of suspended anticipation. Eventually, descent begins, and the shift in motion signals that the next phase of the mission is about to unfold rapidly. The landing is firm and efficient, with no delay as the aircraft transitions from air operation to immediate ground deployment procedures. The ramp opens quickly, allowing heat and light to flood into the aircraft as commands begin to direct the next sequence of actions. Chains release and vehicles start moving without hesitation, transitioning from secured cargo to active operational assets within seconds. A rocket system rolls down the ramp smoothly, followed closely by armored vehicles that move directly into formation upon reaching the ground. There is no pause for regrouping, as units immediately begin executing pre-planned routes and assignments across the operational area. Convoys form almost instinctively, reflecting preparation that allows coordination without the need for constant verbal instruction. Each vehicle maintains spacing and direction, moving with purpose toward positions that have already been mapped and assigned. The environment outside is harsh and immediate, with heat, dust, and visibility all becoming factors in the unfolding situation. Despite conditions, movement remains steady and controlled, as discipline ensures that execution matches planning as closely as possible. Meanwhile, operations extend beyond land-based forces, with additional movements beginning across nearby maritime and aerial platforms. At sea, activity intensifies aboard a major carrier, where aircraft and personnel prepare for synchronized deployment operations. Helicopters power up in sequence, their rotors cutting through the air as they prepare to lift and join the expanding operation. Tilt-rotor aircraft transition into flight mode, carrying personnel who are ready to deploy directly into forward positions. Inside these aircraft, Marines sit in tight formation, focused and prepared for immediate engagement upon arrival at designated zones. Below, amphibious vehicles enter the water, pushing forward through waves as they move toward coastal objectives with steady momentum. These vehicles transition seamlessly from sea to land, climbing onto shorelines and continuing forward without interruption. Hovercraft move rapidly across the surface, delivering heavy equipment directly to operational areas with speed and efficiency. The coordination between air, sea, and land units reflects a level of planning designed to achieve simultaneous impact across multiple fronts. What began as a single deployment has now expanded into a broader operation, involving multiple units and layered strategies. This expansion increases both capability and complexity, requiring constant communication and adjustment as conditions evolve. On the ground, defensive positions begin to take shape quickly, with barriers and vehicles forming structured perimeters. Fields of fire are established and reviewed, ensuring that every angle of approach is accounted for and monitored continuously. Each position is assigned with clarity, allowing personnel to focus on execution rather than uncertainty about their roles. Above, helicopters maintain circular patterns, providing aerial oversight and rapid response capability across the area. Door gunners scan the horizon methodically, watching for any movement that could signal a change in the situation. Their presence reinforces control of the airspace, adding another layer of security to the unfolding operation below. Radar systems operate continuously, scanning for signals that may indicate activity beyond visual range. Operators track each signal carefully, distinguishing between routine noise and potential threats that require attention. Most signals fade quickly, but the possibility of one remaining keeps attention sharp and constant. Time continues to pass, but the anticipated event has not yet occurred, creating a tension that builds with every quiet moment. This waiting phase becomes its own challenge, as readiness must be maintained without clear confirmation of what comes next. Every system is active, every position is manned, and every individual remains prepared for immediate action. Yet despite all preparation, nothing has happened so far, leaving the situation balanced on the edge of change. The silence stretches across the operational area, filled only by controlled movement and constant observation. Each passing moment increases anticipation, as the lack of activity raises as many questions as it answers. Leaders monitor developments closely, aware that decisions made now could influence outcomes far beyond this immediate zone. Communication lines remain open, with updates flowing between units to ensure alignment and awareness across all levels. Adjustments are made in real time, reflecting the need to stay flexible in a rapidly evolving environment. Despite the scale of the operation, coordination remains precise, demonstrating the effectiveness of preparation and structure. Every element continues to function as intended, maintaining readiness while awaiting the next critical development. The operation has reached a point where action could occur at any moment, yet remains suspended in controlled stillness. This balance between movement and pause defines the current phase, where anticipation carries as much weight as action itself. For those on the ground, the experience is defined by focus, discipline, and an awareness of what could happen next. Each individual understands their role within the larger system, contributing to a unified effort that spans multiple domains. The scale of coordination reflects the seriousness of the situation, reinforcing that this is not a routine deployment. Everything is in place, from personnel to equipment to strategy, forming a structure ready to respond instantly. And still, the moment of impact has not arrived, leaving the entire operation poised at a critical threshold. The line between preparation and action remains unbroken, but it feels closer with every passing second. This is the space before escalation, where uncertainty holds as much power as any confirmed event. Every sound, signal, and movement is evaluated, ensuring that nothing is overlooked in this heightened state of awareness. The environment itself feels charged, as if anticipating a shift that has yet to fully reveal itself. For now, the operation continues in controlled readiness, holding steady while the situation develops further. But beneath the surface, the expectation of change continues to grow stronger with each passing moment. Because when that change comes, it will redefine everything that has led up to this point. And until then, the system remains locked in place, prepared, alert, and waiting.